Tonight in Medical Rounds, the topic of gender identity has made headlines around the world as individuals and organizations work to redefine traditional gender roles. Joining us live tonight is Dr. Laura Saunders, a child psychologist at the Institute of Living at Hartford Hospital. Talk more about this topic and a special screening and panel discussion coming up. Good evening, Dr. Saunders. Thanks for being with us tonight.
Thank you for having me.
How has the role of gender identity changed in recent years?
Well, I think we're coming to a different understanding. So since the beginning of time, we've tended to really look at things in terms of duality. And what we're understanding is that really gender is much more along a spectrum. So while sex, biological sex, has parts, gender's more an internal construct. And gender's really changing in terms of how we see gender. And it's sort of been this way for a very long time, but we're quantifying it and describing it in a much more healthy and more open-minded way.
You are the clinical coordinator of the Right Track, which is an LGBTQ specialty track at the Institute of Living at Hartford Hospital. Tell us a little bit more about what that is.
We are the only program of its kind in the state of Connecticut, one of only a couple that focus just on young adults here in the Northeast. And what we do is we specialize in individuals who identify somewhere on the LGBTQ spectrum. That stands for lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, queer, or questioning, who also have co-occurring significant mental health difficulties or mental illness. So we're dealing with those particular issues around identity and the stressors that are significant and most detrimental to this population.
Now, there's a screening happening, I understand, at Real Artways on June 6th involving a documentary on the gender revolution by Katie Couric. And then after that screening, you will be leading a discussion on the topic. Can you give us a quick thumbnail of that event?
Absolutely. So the Gender Revolution is a documentary put together by National Geographic, and we have been tapped to host a screening. At the end of the screening, which really talks about all aspects of gender and really gender all around the world and how it's seen differently in different places and different cultures. Afterward, we are doing a panel discussion with an endocrinologist and hormone replacement specialist, a parent from PFLAG, a couple of trans youth, and myself, who does a lot of clinical work with trans youth and young adults, to really give the community an opportunity to ask questions and gain a better understanding of this topic.
Thank you so much, Dr. Saunders. It sounds like an interesting evening, and thanks for sharing that insight with us tonight. Now, again, the screening will take place on Tuesday, June 6th from 6 to 9 p.m. at Real Artways in Hartford. To register, you can call the number you see on the screen there. In the meantime, Dr. Saunders is hosting a Facebook Live chat to answer your questions on this topic.